Hello, hello. Welcome to Juicy Talk. We're very excited to have you. We have a great conversation we're going to have, and it's really going to be about domestic violence.
Yeah.
We got a lot of things going on. Can you hear us out there? Can you hear us good?
Here.
So, thank you for tuning in, and let's get started. Welcome to Juicy Talk with your host, Juicy. Live Thursdays, 8 p.m. Crucial conversations, special guests, love, relationships, and healing together. It's going to be juicy, y'all. Let's go. All right. So, we're just going to get straight into it. So, we
Can, can,
know
can we
that you.
can we talk one more paint and
Oh,
sip real
I'm
quick?
sorry.
That's okay. Well,
Let's
first of
go.
all, I just want to thank everybody that came out to my sip and paint. I had a total of 75 people.
It was amazing.
Amazing.
It was a great time.
Yes, I want to special thank you for coming out. You and your mom came.
We had a
I
wonderful
want to thank
time.
the Corey, who's the instructor. Also like to thank my
Awesome.
yes, she was very
She
good.
was great.
And also like to shout out my cousin, Stephanie Haywood, and also Rachel Mock. She also took a part of
Yes,
help clean
thank
up.
you.
So I want to thank
Thank
everybody.
you for
So it
everybody
takes a
that
village.
helped. It was a great
It
time. Like
was. It really
it was so
was.
much fun. Everybody and it was like a whole vibe. Everybody got along good. Everybody just it was really nice.
Thank you.
We
Thank
had a
you.
good time.
We did. I had a great
It was
time
great.
putting
And
it.
I made a really amazing picture because I'm a great artist.
Yeah. I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just walking around and making sure everybody had a good time. But
Yes.
again, I want to thank everybody that came out and people that couldn't make it. Well, I'll probably will be doing it real soon. So thank you.
Yes. It was
Thank you.
awesome. It was great.
Thank you.
It was a great event. So let's get straight to it. So, if you have not, and I don't know anybody that has not seen it because it's been all over everywhere.
I know.
We had talked about it before on a show when it first came out, when Cassie actually got her settlement, and we talked about it. And, I wanted to bring it up and talk about it again because domestic violence is a real thing. And one of the things that I really wanted to talk about is the way that Cassie was shamed. It's so much shame that people go through when it comes to um, domestic violence. And that was one of the things that she really did go through, and it was really unfortunate,
Yeah,
and
very
it was really
unfortunate.
sad what she experienced. And now we all have seen the video, and people were talking about how she was a gold digger and like all of these different things that they were saying about her, that was really unfortunate. And a lot of people were, saying she just did it for a payday. But now that the video has come out, um
A lot of people are backtracking.
a lot of people are backtracking, but it's still a lot of victim shaming.
Hmm.
People are saying, well, why did she stay so long? She stayed with him. She should have left him. Why did she stay? And so we just wanted to talk. I just wanted to talk about, we wanted to talk about just some of the different things and why people do stay. And it's like really messed up. And I feel like a lot of times it's the individual who is going through it, the victim. There's no, there's a presumption of innocence when it comes to a person that commits a crime, right?
Yes.
But for the victim, there's never a presumption that you're telling the truth.
Mhm.
You know, nobody said, well, let's give her the benefit of the doubt and say she's telling the truth. Nobody ever does that.
Mhm.
And I just think that, and I just think it's unfortunate. What
You
you
know,
think?
domestic violence can happen with men too. Men can beat up just like women do. So,
Very much so.
so it's very,
It's not
very
gender
common.
specific,
Yeah,
specific.
yeah. If I'm not mistaken, I believe Dick Garter was a victim of domestic violence.
Really?
Yeah,
I
wasn't a man.
never knew
Yeah,
that.
domestic violence,
Wow. His wife was beating on him.
beating them up.
And it's like, I mean, if you haven't seen the tape, I'm not going to re-show it because I think that is very vulgar, and I don't want to bring light to. I don't want to. I know she's everywhere, but I don't want to be a part of somebody else reliving an abusive moment. You know what
Yes,
I'm
it
saying?
makes
Like
sense. It
I
makes
don't
sense.
want to play it for people to see because of my respect for the victim and what she been through, and
Hmm.
to replay that, she has to live this out, relive this horrible moment. And it's like so crazy to me because now that I go back and I watch it, I feel like I see fear.
Hmm.
Like when I see him doing the red carpets and different things like that now, it just appears as if she was fearful and scared.
Hmm.
What do you think?
Yeah, I'm sure she's probably more or less embarrassed, friends and family that she went through that. So I'm sure she's probably mentally kind of really
Drained.
drained. I don't use the word jacked up, but mentally, uh, mentally really um, terrible feeling inside. So, but
Yeah, and it's just like it just seems like to me that I want to talk about what it's like for a person who is being abused. You know, you meet somebody, you love them, you care about them,
mhm,
you think that this person is the person for you, and that this is an amazing relationship because it always starts off really good.
mhm,
They're giving you the best of everything. They show to put their best face forward in
forward,
the
yes.
beginning.
Hmm.
And then we're talking about a person who was very well off. I'm sure she was getting expensive gifts. I'm sure she had never been with somebody who was able to provide that level of security,
Yes,
right? And so and now she's in love with this man, right?
yes.
And in the midst of her being in love with him and she's carrying, she's hooked, she's in, you know. And now she's in a position where now she's experiencing, these little subtle controlling things, hurtful comments,
Hmm.
mean things, but she loves this person at this point.
Yes.
And now she's at this point, and this is what it's like for a lot of people who are victims of domestic violence. You care about this person, but now you're trying to, for lack of a better word, behave so you don't bring out the behaviors, and you're controlling yourself.
Hmm.
And it doesn't matter what you do. If they're mad, if they're angry, it has nothing to do. It could be have nothing to do with you at all.
Yes, this is
But this
true.
person is mad, they're angry, they're upset, they're frustrated. And so you become
A victim.
the victim, the person that they take all of their frustrations out on, the person they take all of their anger out on.
Hmm.
And it's very and now you instill fear. And then if this person is powerful, then it becomes even worse,
Hmm.
right? And so it's so many people that experience this type of abuse, and there's no recourse.
Do you think it's a little bit different for people who are well off compared to the average Joe or average person? Where they treat them the same, like the average Joe compared to with a superstar or person such as you know P Diddy, or compared to just a regular average guy? But I think they have rules and regulations across the board where you hit someone, or make them feel like they're you don't beat them up every time you see them. I guess there's a rule across the board. I guess the law, there's things in law that's set in place for victims of
Yeah,
domestic violence. So I guess it really doesn't matter. But I guess with by this being a high profile case,
yeah,
we're tuning in, and we just know P Diddy as he's a executive director. He bringing Biggie, and he
yeah. He
so
didn't produce. He's a mogul.
yeah.
He's helped a lot of different people in the music industry,
Mhm. So
and have done a lot in the music industry and have a lot of power.
yes,
And I mean, he was able to pay off the hotel
right.
staff, and none of us seen it years. That happened in 2016.
Hmm. And I believe the hotel doesn't even exist anymore, right?
Oh, I don't
Yeah,
know.
I believe that the hotel doesn't exist anymore.
I
So
don't know. But I mean, it's just so many different things that happen at the hands of abusers. And a lot of times we end up, we don't bring enough shame to the people that do stuff like this. Like he got on air, he apologized, right,
hmm
for what he did. But he never, like to me, I feel like the, did you hear the apology?
yeah, I heard it.
To me, it was, for lack of, it was some BS, because he never even said like, "Sorry, Cassie.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that I hurt you. I'm sorry
Hmm.
that I look back at that and I'm ashamed of how I hurt you." He never acknowledged her. He didn't apologize to her, and maybe he can't legally. I don't
Right. I was
know.
going to say
That's
that.
that's possible, but there was no sincerity
Mhm.
in that in my eyes.
To
Because he didn't have to say her name to say, "I'm sorry. I victimized somebody who didn't deserve it." He didn't take any responsibility. He just was like, "I feel ashamed." You
Mhm.
should feel ashamed, but do you feel sorry for what you did? Did you apologize to the person that you victimized? And that's part of it. And I'm sure this is the thing with people who, abuse others. It's not their first time. If you go down the list of people they dated, I'm sure that he wasn't the only one. I
Mhm.
mean, and now like people for years have been saying that he probably, abused
Other
Kim
people.
Porter too.
Yeah.
A lot of people were saying that he probably had her killed. She was, I heard some things. Now it make you just question all the things that have ever been said.
Mhm.
Kid Cudi said he had his car blown up.
Mhm. I think one of the things I've heard, I don't know how true this is, but I think neither one can say each other's name. Uh,
Oh, in the
it-
part of the thing.
yeah, part of the agreement, they cannot say his name, or she can't say his name, or she can't, or he can't say her name
Publicly.
publicly. I think
Yeah.
that's probably why he didn't do
And
that.
but he could have said, "I'm sorry to the victim.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that I inflicted pain on someone else in that manner."
Mhm.
He could have, it was ways around it to actually be remorseful.
Mhm.
But I just don't feel like he was remorseful. And I feel like a lot of people who get away with it for so long are not. You get away with being abusive towards people,
Mhm.
hurting people intentionally and on purpose, because you can, because you take for granted the fact that they care about you or that they
Mhm.
love you or if they have feelings for you. You're taking advantage of that and you're using it for your power. It's just a sad situation. And I believe everything they said about him. And he adamantly said, "I did not hurt this woman. I did not do these things." And now I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Oh, you're not. You're not sorry. You're sorry you got caught, but you're not
Okay.
sorry.
What did she say, Miss Washington? Say
Um,
she
They
didn't.
Monte, he said that ninja is a snake.
Oh wow. All right.
He is. This is lovely Debbie in the building. We love lovely
Yeah, where
Debbie.
she's been.
We miss you.
Yeah, welcome back.
Welcome back. We want you to come on.
We make sure we put our phone number up so people can call in and
Yes,
yeah.
I will. I'm putting information in the chat. Yeah, it's just unfortunate and it's sad that we live in a society in a world where people don't value, you know,
Do you think
people hearts. And
um
it's
you think
just
someone that's been
sad.
domestic was uh, result of being domestic. I mean, violent towards someone else. Is that part of it, or is just something just happened? Did someone just wake up and just start beating on somebody, or is just what do you think about that?
What creates a a person who is, hey, hey, we about to bring Lovely Debbie to the stage.
Hey,
Hey, Lovely Debbie. Hello, Lovely. Lovely Debbie. How are you? Well,
What's up, peeps? What's going down? Kicking down those
how you
2025.
doing, Debbie?
Ooh.
How are you?
hey, Debbie. Welcome
Hey,
to
Harvey, Mr. H, what's good? Michelle A.
Miss-
Hey. Hey, so what do you think about our topic today? About and
Child.
really we talking about Diddy a little bit, but more or less we're really talking about domestic violence and the people that suffer from it.
That information that came up with him dragging her. But first she had to get an escape route. So I'm sure she planned on trying to get away from him.
yes.
Mm,
And she thought he was inebriated. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? And once she broke out, for her to be around all that expense and money and things, it looked like she was transient, like she really was making a run for her life.
it
And
did.
he caught her. And when he caught her, he threw her. And then when he threw her, he kicked her. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah,
And then he dragged her ass back. Who knows what happened once he got her back to that
in
I
that
know,
room?
right?
room. That's
Right.
true. She
That's
was
the scary part.
it's so scary. And she looked very like when they got close up on the camera and they kind of showed her in the camera, she kind of looked at the camera. She looked so frightened. She looked
Oh,
so
yeah.
scared. She looked terrified.
It was so scary. Like, I felt what she was feeling in that moment.
Mm,
Just and this goes beyond just gender, because it's women who
yeah.
beat the men as well as men who beat on women. And there's stigmatism when men reach out, they're looked at as less than. Oh, you let this woman beat you up. But it's men that won't retaliate back because you already know when the popo show, he gone. But in that instance with Diddy, it was so much going on. There was a time, and I don't know if y'all saw that popped up, but she had the side of her hair shaved off. Something
Mhm.
happened where he made her shave the side of her head.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So this was years and years and
I
years
do
and years.
remember when she had it cut down on
Did
one
you see
side.
that?
Yeah, I do
The,
remember that.
he apologized. That apology, whatever the fuck that was, that apology wasn't really an apology. It was like the devil incarnate.
But I mean, I think
Mm,
what's
that's
sometimes,
how I felt about it when I seen it too.
but
Hmm.
I think he has to be careful what he says because it can be brought back up later. So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, she
on
can't
such and such day,
file
he said
criminal
this.
charges against him, but it could be used. He got other lawsuits. It's a lot of people who done filed lawsuits against him for abuse, and I'm sure that everything that they're saying is true. So when are you Hardy asked a really interesting question, and I would like to know your opinion on it. He said, what makes a person just get up one day and start abusing
Yeah.
somebody in that manner where you beat up, or what creates that?
I honestly say, and I think, and it's hard at times to see. There's red flags, and we all know we have that gut intuition. There's things that transpire prior to it getting to that level. It may start small, and then it starts like accumulating. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger to the point now you're in it. You feel like you can't escape. You feel like this is the only love I'm getting. You feel like there's no other place you can go. You feel like no one's going to believe your
Right.
story. And then you're
Embarrassment.
embarrassed that you in this situation to begin with.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
there's red flags that you feel and you see, but we often ignore it because our heart is in there. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
I can recollect, and I'm gonna take it all the way back. I told you I'm a preacher's kid, and I ain't gonna say no names, but I'm just saying way back when I was a child, when the curtains were closed behind closed doors, and when the shades were down in those households, things were different behind the scene. You know how many women in the church are getting bust upside their head and they still come in there with their Sunday clothes on as if nothing happened, because you got to look the part, because you don't want nobody thinking something going on in the home. So I recollect moments where I would hear my mom crying out.
Mm.
And we didn't understand it then, but as we got older, we knew what it was. But she stayed 20 something years.
Mm.
20 some years. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Because
a
she
long
didn't know no better. She didn't have no education.
Mm.
One, she had 6 kids. Two, she
time.
didn't feel like there was nowhere else to go. Now, I'm saying as the years progressed, it lessened, but it should have never occurred. And when you grow up under that, as children, you'll think that that's okay. That's what's supposed to happen. Like, you're supposed to submit, and if you don't submit, you get hit.
Ooh.
Mm.
Mm. Say that.
Mm.
That's a word right there.
I know, right?
That's a word.
And
You
you
spilling
know,
that tea today, baby.
Come on, Mr. H.
Spilling that tea.
it's
And
just so it's like a messed up thing, and I just really feel bad for her as a victim. Like, could you imagine being so fearful and scared to leave somebody like him? Like he's gonna find you, you know. Then we don't even know what he has on her, you know?
Oh, that's a good point.
Like
That's a
what
good
what
point.
what does he actually have on her that could hurt her, you know? Pictures of her doing compromising things because he was, you know,
from
you know what
Hollywood.
they
You know,
saying.
a lot of
Hollywood.
those tapes got a lot of people saw. I think this is what's the scary part. A lot of people in Hollywood,
Yes.
they saw,
Weird. Yes.
they knew, they
Mhm.
was going to them parties.
Yes.
Nobody said nothing. And if you think about it, when Cat Williams began to talk and talking about
Mhm.
exposures, and they call her crazy Jaguar, but this was a lot of stuff that was manifesting years. You know what I'm saying? And I want to
And
say
she
something. I'm
been
gonna say
saying it for the longest time,
for
boy.
the longest
She been saying
that
that
this
this was
was
happening for
happening.
the longest time.
If you think about this too, and I'm not excusing none of his behavior, but when it comes to the black man doing these things, and then it comes to the non-African, non-melanated men doing these things, it's a different type of standard. And it was the same sick shit poop that's been going on for a long time. This
Mhm.
stuff gets so deep and so weird, and I don't think we've even reached the tip of the iceberg how sick this mess is.
Yeah, and
And
it's
it's
being
people are
exposed.
scared. Oh yeah.
It's being
He gonna
exposed.
get what's
Too.
coming to him, because if that's a snippet of what we saw and he couldn't hide that, I think it's more that can be told and more that hasn't been exposed that this young lady went through. And it brings up, I think y'all was talking about Kim Porter and
Yes,
anybody that was trying to do a telltale book. Like,
yes.
what's going, how did this man get to exceed this far with all this power? Where's the
Mm.
accountability, and why is he still walking around free?
Mhm.
I know, right?
Mhm.
That's crazy.
And it's nuts. And then on top of that, it's like how many people nobody's surprised. Like nobody said anything. Like that was like the red flag for me that is as well known as he is as a mogul, right? No
Hmm.
everybody was silent. Jennifer Lopez, who dated him, didn't say
Ooh,
anything.
come on,
You know what I'm
come
saying?
on.
Nobody surprised his what's her name? Misa, I think. She's the stylist. She didn't
Whoa.
have anything to say. That's his kid's mother. She didn't say anything about it. Like nobody said anything. They were pretty much silent um concerning this situation. Like radio silent. No one said anything. You know?
But think about it, and let's throw out allegedly. Um, People were coming up missing. Powerful people,
Mhm.
powerful rappers, powerful celebrities coming up missing. So I feel people already knew what the outcome could and would and was if you buck up against that type of power. That
Right.
brother got power, had power. For real. He didn't just take off on that jet and didn't know that somebody was coming looking for him. He had connections, still got connection because he got video footage of
Some
people
of
and
these
evidence
people
of all those
parties.
high billionaire, millionaire celebrities that took a part in them parties. Come on, we the people, not food. We not dumb. They keep taking us as we
Well,
don't know what's going on.
what's
You
the
know what I'm
guy's
saying?
name? What's the guy's name from Aerosol? Aerosol.
Oh, Andre Harrell. What you
No, the
talking about
other.
him?
Mm.
No, the other guy.
Oh,
Whitney Houston. He was a
oh
manager
yeah.
to
What
Whitney
was his
Houston.
name? The guy,
Clyde Davis.
Clyde
Yes,
Davis.
yeah. I think it stems from a lot from Clyde Davis at this
Mm,
those wild parties and this. It's been rumors that they have really, really wild parties. This, red doors. All that stuff. So it's
That stuff is so weird. I think for the average folks like us to even fathom that it gets that weird up there.
You know what? I don't think so. And the reason I say that because they're just like us. They have more money, and
that's it.
and they're more so in the public eyes because I'm sure we have. You hear about these different places like swinger places here in Cleveland. This no different from
Yeah, people living their lifestyle, whatever
yeah,
their
yeah.
lifestyle is. They still out here doing it too.
Yeah,
That's true.
it's just
I could see that, but let's take it to let's just get real. You know me, I'm a Leo. I'm gonna keep it real. This
yeah.
stuff done got deeper than this. They talking about bathing in infant blood, going to these
Oh
secret
yeah,
areas,
no, we
doing these rituals and stuff. The
right.
average American
It's not thinking
don't
about
know nothing about the depths of that Hollywood stuff. We keep thinking that, oh, it's just a joke. Oh, they're not doing
That's
that. Oh,
real.
ha ha ha, that's Illuminati. But it's coming out too much. The exposure piece of how deep this mess go. This is why I say the average person couldn't fathom unless you're a part of some type of cult that believes in
Right.
taking away a life in order to bring back something to build up your empire.
Mm.
Come on, this been going on for a long time. I'm gonna give you a little something, and y'all can read it on
Listen.
your own. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. Lightweight. If you think about the sacrifices that has been made, and
mm,
it's been going on and on and on. Somebody people sleep on too. I'm gonna throw that's OG Percy, Tales of a Crypt. Check him out. Look at some of his older videos. He been talking about this stuff way
before Jet.
before Cat Williams was talking about OG Percy. Check him out.
Mm.
Yeah,
Everybody like,
'cause
oh, he
Jet
just
Williams
talking.
and the crazy thing is like it just seemed like everybody is being exposed right now. If you doing something that's
Come through.
wrong, it's like everything is coming out. People are being exposed for the crazy stuff they doing.
Mm.
And it all links back up to domestic violence because it's more than just physical. It's verbal, it's emotional, it's spiritual, it's all of that combined. When somebody beats you down
Mm.
on a daily basis, day after day, minute after minute, hour after hour,
Beating you to
second
make it
after
right.
second, you
It's the
feel
it's the
hopeless.
verbal. Yeah, it's in your mind first.
Mhm.
It's the
Mm-hmm.
verbal. The verbal to me is probably worse than the physical
Oh, yeah.
because
They
it's
Fact.
they
what
run
it
neck and
does
neck.
to your
Yeah.
mind. You know what
and
it
and
does
and
to your
and
mind.
anybody that's listening or going through this, there are places to help you out. There's resources out here. There's domestic violence shelter. They have places you could go with your children, with your family. They tell you to pack a bag, put it in your trunk. Don't wait for it to go down. Be ready to take the freak off
At any
in
given moment,
case it go down.
when an opportunity presents itself, you got to take it. And that's
And you
probably
got to
what she
go.
was thinking that day when she ran out that hotel and he called her. Do you know how much strength she had to muster
Mm.
up to run up out that hotel room to even
And
just
then for him to catch her running in that
oh,
towel,
oh
woo,
my god. That probably was like
she
she
probably
probably
saw
heard
her life flash before her.
yes. And if you see she just laid down on the floor and like a kid and rolled up in a circle.
I think we
Mm,
talk about some
that
other.
just breaks my heart. Every time I think about it, it just breaks my heart.
Mhm, right?
Mm.
Yeah, I think Ray. I think another person we talked about was Ray Rice. He played with the Baltimore Ravens, and he had an issue with domestic violence where he beat his girlfriend, his wife, in an elevator. He drug her out the elevator. It was
Mhm.
really really sad. So it's very very sad that this has happened.
I mean, and it's like a lot of men, like it's just like it just seems like lately, just even here in Ohio, where the woman was killed running. I think it was like on 123rd or something like that. They found her dead at 4 in the morning. Her baby was up under her. She was
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
literally running with her child, was killed, and the baby was up under her. Like she
Oh my
covered her
God.
baby, to protect her child. But she died, but the baby, I think, lived. But it's just like,
Taking it back, my husband was mentioning like the O.J. Simpson thing. If we take out the black and white thing, how that went down, just putting it out there.
that's
You know
true.
what I'm saying? It wasn't a race win thing. Everything showed the red flags was there. And what happened to that woman? When you got a good defense, you can acquit. I'm just
You can
putting
get
it out
away with
there.
stuff that
Mm-hmm.
you done did,
If the glove don't fit, you gotta quit. That's
Yeah,
what
come
he said.
on.
That's what he
Yeah, that's what
said.
he
Not like
glove.
people kill you with two little gloves
I
on.
know it.
It wasn't like he was like, I got to get the perfect fit gloves to
Mm-hmm.
kill this little kid
Right.
with. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Mm.
that's probably what got him acquitted. But
Absolutely.
but when you think about it, like if you run into to hurt somebody or harming somebody, you might not be putting on no gloves. Just you're not looking for. Oh, I'm gonna make sure my gloves fit perfectly when I do this crime.
Mhm.
You're not thinking
And,
about.
another thing is like kudos to you guys for covering this. It starts to change and the word gets out there when it's covered by the podcast and by the people that care. So thank you both for speaking on it, for talking about it and getting that word out there.
Well, we appreciate you coming
Yeah,
on and
it's
making your
it's it's
statements too as
personal
well.
for me. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? It's personal for
Mhm.
me. I've been in a situation before where, I was abused by somebody that I loved and I cared for.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
And definitely was fearful, definitely was
mm,
scared on what that person would do, but I just decided I couldn't do it no more, and it was literally because of my kids.
Mm-hmm.
How
thank
I
God.
was raised in, and I mean, I was raised in the most loving and caring environment. I never seen my father hit, hurt, or do anything to my mother. I didn't come up
Mhm,
in no crazy type situation where that was a normal thing to me. No,
Mm-hmm.
not at all. But
mhm,
I found myself victim to it. You know,
mm,
I found myself victim to it, and, so that's why I say it's personal, like, it's not safe for women, and we just gotta get the word out. We cannot allow women to continue to be abused, and we need men that are not boyfriends, but the brothers, and,
mhm.
we need men should just stand up for women, like, we know that we can't we not trying to fight no man. You can't
Facts.
fight no man. Like, I
Mhm,
don't you can't, but you shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to be in that type of environment
Mm-hmm.
where somebody is taking advantage of you like that. It's terrible.
I think
And when you see it and you see the red flags, you just got to go.
in most cases,
mhm.
the police are called and normally remove the man from the house. In most cases.
Sometimes, but you know what? Stuff these some of the, men who abuse people become very slick and they know what to say.
Very
They know
manipulative.
what to do. They know
Mm-hmm.
how to talk. They know the right things to say. They know how to turn it on and turn it off. Hey, my guy.
Mhm,
Hey, don't I know your brother or such and such? They throw names around. They do whatever they gotta do.
Mm-hmm.
And
But at
it's.
home beating her butt, huh?
mhm.
I mean, I wouldn't say it was that extreme
Not
for
you, but I'm
me.
just saying.
No, it wasn't that extreme for me, but I'm just saying, like, emotional abuse can be just as bad.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Somebody, especially when you young, look at that age gap, and we gotta talk about that age gap between them. He started messing with her when she was 19. He was
Damn.
38.
Whoa.
Mentally, she wasn't even fully developed mentally. Her frontal lobe wasn't completely developed yet. She was literally a kid. He took advantage of her on so many levels. He controlled her like a father, but then sleeping with her too. To me, that's kind of sick to me. I don't know. She was grown.
Wasn't she already like trying to like become a superstar? Was she supposed to?
He was his. She was trying. He signed her. She was trying
Ooh,
to be, a star
Mm.
because she could sing.
take you back to that R. Kelly stuff.
I know,
All of
right?
that.
And again, everybody was around. It was people that saw, people that visited the house.
Mhm.
Like even some of them parents knew, but it was all about the money. I don't think R. Kelly thought he would ever get caught. And it
Yeah.
wasn't just women, it was younger women, it was older women, it was young boys. It was a stream. He had a whole schedule pulling up to the McDonald's by the high school. You know, they go, oh, R. Kelly, he famous. Them girls was never the same when they left that man.
Mm.
Yeah. And you figure they had been saying, like with R. Kelly though, they have been saying that. I mean, his teacher, his music teacher as a child said that he was had we kind of like this thing for girls,
Mm.
young girls back then. He would be hanging out
Yeah.
at, you know, the middle school. Yeah, she
Whoa.
said that
What?
yeah, he was an adult. He was still hanging out. So like, I
He's
mean,
like
he
a
called
predator.
himself the
Looks like a predator.
yeah, she kind of
Yeah.
insinuated that.
Mm.
He was calling himself the Pied Piper.
Mm-hmm.
I
Heard
mean,
that.
y'all know what the Pied Piper was about. He lured the
Or
kids
with the pipe.
with the music.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, with the
He
music.
said, what the
Oh, my bad. Not bad. You know what I meant. I mean the pipe.
fuck?
The flute.
Well, eventually, yeah.
I guess so.
My
I guess so.
bad. Oh my goodness.
I'm glad she got out. I'm glad
Yeah, me
Cassie got
too.
her story out
And I'm
there.
glad I'm glad she got paid. 30 million wasn't enough, but I'm sure that it'll help her live and sustain the same lifestyle that she was used to. So congratulations to her. Maybe she can come out with an album now.
Yeah, and they're
Right, right.
saying that even though criminal charges can't be made for that case, they're doing the build up thing. It may be something from these videos being released that's may add to what it all. They're not done yet. You don't
Um,
expose that and it's just sitting. They're building that up.
Yeah.
And
Well,
he knows that that coming to that apology was so cringy,
it was.
awkward, and creepy.
It was. He looked like the devil.
mm,
Didn't
Uh-huh.
he look demonic, like a demon?
but
Soulless.
you know,
Soulless.
anytime the FBI is involved, you know they do.
Yeah, they don't come in your
Yeah,
house unless they already got something on
yeah,
you.
they don't play. They don't.
Hmm.
They don't. They don't knock on doors, kick on doors. They ain't got
Mm-mm.
no nothing.
They
Yeah.
already knew.
It's
And
just a matter of time, I'm sure.
yeah, they
Yeah.
already knew. And I mean, it's they just develop. They only come in when they already know. They know
Oh
where
yeah.
they come in when they already know for sure they got you. And but if he is also been human trafficking, like that is
Oh,
going to really shake
scary.
up some things. Because I'm telling you, like it's so sad what's happening to young girls out here. I don't know if y'all ever. It's this podcast that I watch, and they interview people on um in LA on it. The what's that strip where people Skid Row.
Oh, scared.
Mm.
And you would be surprised at how many 14, 15-year-old girls, I mean, even here in Ohio, how many 13, 14, 15-year-old girls are being human trafficking is real by grown men that be sitting in the club with you or sitting next to you in church.
Mm.
Real talk.
Come through.
Real talk. So we just gotta do better at protecting our women. We
Hmm.
gotta do better at protecting our girls, so that they can grow to be women, you know.
Facts. And I'm a slide it in today, like the husband saying, and women. there have been a lot of cases where, and I've seen like documentaries, these men, a lot of these men are in abusive relationships. And
Yes.
it's probably more than what's been said because it's rarely reported. Because again, most folks that come through there is not going to believe the man. I seen a documentary where this young man, this girlfriend was literally stabbing him, you know what I'm
Oh man.
saying? Breaking his arm. He'll go around his family. They'll be like, "What happened to you?" They knew he would hide it. She wouldn't let him eat. It was like, what?
Yeah, I definitely feel like men can be physically
Victim. Yeah.
physically and mentally abused,
Hmm.
and suffer from domestic violence. I know men who have suffered with domestic violence and been stabbed while they was asleep, you know?
Mm.
Woke up
Hmm.
and found out she done stabbed you because she done went through your phone and seen something. Or did nothing at all, or just play emotional games or do foul things to you. I mean, those are domestic violence is real. And I think a lot of times men don't even know if that they are domestically, like they don't recognize it as being domestic violence. Like she
Hmm.
crazy, she just be acting nuts, but for real, it's domestic violence.
Hmm.
Let me ask you this, ladies. Like for example, a lot of times, men are watching football games, and women try to interrupt them, and you know, I, I don't know how often. I don't know the statistics is when men are watching sports, they don't want to be bothered by women, and sometimes they really go off on women during watching sports.
Yeah.
Get out the way,
Mm.
stop playing, and woman, you made me miss that. You made me miss that play, and it can be really. I don't know how often that happens, but I'm sure there's cases like that.
I know it's a lot of men that don't want to be
Disturbed
disturbed when they
watching
watching
the
their sports. They
sports.
like, don't talk to me, don't
Don't
say
say
nothing. They
nothing.
be really into it.
Try to open up her shirt. Girl, stop playing.
Like,
Uh,
didn't I tell you move? Ah, move. He think she's screaming because he think he happy. He mad.
yeah.
But nah, it's crazy out here. We got to do better. I don't feel sorry for Diddy. I don't
At
feel
all.
sorry for him. I don't care what they do. You had all the money to get all the help you needed to be a better individual and a better
Yep.
person. You chose to be demonic and a demon. You chose to be a demon. Anything that you got coming to you, you deserve it.
Hmm.
He
It
deserves
was
it. Stop being a demon. Stop
right.
being foul for no reason. Ain't nobody did nothing to you. He could have got all the help. He had access to the best therapist, the best doctors. He could have got hypnotized, take it away. Whatever it was he was going through and dealing with, he ain't have to do it. So whatever he got coming, I know they can't file criminal charges against him for what he did with old girl, but with Cassie, but he deserved anything he got coming. He deserved it.
He do.
And
And
any
it's
and any
sad.
man that beat up on or verbally or mentally abuses a woman deserve what they got coming to them too. You can't keep doing people wrong and thinking that it's okay.
At all.
You gotta start taking responsibility for your actions, changing and doing
Accountability.
accountability and doing better. Like get help. We all need therapy.
We all.
But
Whew,
like get help.
oh my
Get help.
goodness.
You
Yeah.
know?
A lot
You
of
or you run up on the wrong one because I one
Hmm.
one thing for sure, two for certain.
ooh, say that.
Like
Say that.
I I said I was, but I won't again.
Mm. Hmm.
But
Baby.
what's so crazy though? It's like you can be let's say for example, for if you have a sister or a sister and her boyfriend is abusing her, and your brother, sister down and talk to both of them. Hey man, stop beating on my sister. But until she says enough is enough, it's not going to happen. It's not
Yeah,
going to
until
happen.
you take your power back.
Right, because a man can say, "Man, you keep beating keep hitting my sister, I'm gonna beat your ass," but she stays with him. So how do you work around that when people that's being abused stay in it? and you try to talk to both of them. Hey, you hit my sister one more time, and she's like, "Oh, don't mess with him. I love him." And how do you work around that?
I don't know, but I can tell you what happened to me. I remember he wouldn't I was in a situation where I was with this crazy individual, right? And he would break up stuff. He would like break
Mm.
stuff when he would
Mm,
get mad. And he'd start like, tearing up stuff. We lived together. So he would tear up stuff. And I was young. I was like in my early 20s. But one day I was like, he decided he was gonna clock out. And I just started picking up his stuff and started breaking his stuff. I started tearing up everything he had in that house. I mean, I was busting out TVs. I was like, "Oh, we breaking stuff? Psh, I broke that TV. Won't be watching wrestling in the night. Psh, won't be watching those sports tonight, bro." I took the laptop. I was like, cracked it in half. Like, "Oh, we
that's
breaking
Ooh.
stuff."
that's
He
like
look.
that
You know what
movie.
he did? You know what he did? He sat down, cracked up laughing, and ain't never do it again. Never did it
Mm.
again after that. I dipped. Like, a
Mhm.
couple months later, I was out. But I'm just saying, like, he never did it again. And you know what that taught me? That taught me he was really a coward. I'd watch men punk this dude, say crazy stuff to him. He was really a coward for real, for real. But what I realized
Mhm.
is that when I start clocking out back, I was like, oh no. Oh no, bro, bro. Oh, that's what we doing. Oh, let me give it back to you. Then you know what? I'm flat
You're a
out.
wild
Flat out.
girl.
Hey,
You're a wild
hey,
girl.
hey,
But that
hey,
reminded me of a movie, right? With the war,
man.
it was a movie, right? With
I don't know.
that's
I
what
don't
what's his
know.
name? He was tearing stuff up. War the
War
War
the
the
Roses.
Roses.
That's a good man. That movie's so good. That movie was so good though, but for real, like yeah, that was funny. They was going through a divorce, living in the same house.
House, right?
They didn't want to move out. They
Start
both ended
breaking,
up dead though, didn't
right?
they?
They start breaking stuff up and all this
Yeah.
crazy.
And
Yeah,
at the end, I think they ended up dead. She was like, on their last breath, they was telling each other how they loved each other
right.
after they was all tore up. But I'm just saying, like, shoot, I was like, you know what? After that, I realized I was like, oh, okay, you ain't crazy. You just playing
Crazy,
crazy
right?
because you think that you're
Mhm.
gonna instill fear in me, and then that fear is gonna control me. But once you realize that that didn't work, and your fear and your craziness that you doing didn't work, then guess what? It stopped. And I think a lot of times, now it's some dudes out here that it's really, for lack of a better term, but batshit crazy. But some of them just playing crazy because they don't do that to men. They as soon as I know this other like girl, this young girl, she was being abused by a guy, and he was kicking her behind, blacking her eyes,
Ooh,
doing it in front of her children,
Mm.
all of that. And her cousin told him, he was like, "Listen here, I'm telling you." He came over to the house. He put the dude out. He said, "I'm telling you now, don't come back over to this house no more. If I catch you here, I'm going to beat you up.
beat that ass.
I'm going to beat
Oh,
that
that's
ass."
deep.
He told him. And he was like, "Man, whatever. I ain't F her. I ain't coming back. It's cool. It's cool, dude." Because he told him, "Oh, I could beat you up right now. I could beat you later." He was like, you let me. He's like, "I should whoop you right now." He was like, "But I'm gonna let you go." He was like, "But I'm telling you, if I ever see you again, I don't care if she say you can come back. If I catch you over here, do you know this fool climbed through the window? They had left or whatever. She came back home, and the dude was in the house. She called her cousin up. The cousin came and dragged that man out that house and beat the brakes off that dude, right?
Mm,
Beat him up
Wow.
so bad. And then he did, after he got beat up, he knew he meant business, so then he ain't come back. But he ain't even fight I did see it. He didn't even fight him back.
so
He didn't even
Whoa.
fight the girl cousin back. He didn't even fight him back. Now you been whooping on this girl, punching her in her eyes, making her square up, bop, bop, bopping her in her face.
Bop,
But
bop.
yeah, he was bopping her in her family like she was black
Oh my
black and
gosh.
blue. He was beating her up bad. But that man, he wouldn't say nothing to that man. He ain't do nothing.
Ooh.
What's that say?
Yeah. It say Pam Grier or Bernadette, the daughter on Good Times. Who was more beautiful? I don't know what that is. I don't know if that was meant for this part.
I know.
But
Say what's what?
I
What's
don't know.
that?
That was just a random comment. But yeah, like, you know, she turned around but I feel like some men just need to listen. I promise you. And it for the life of me, you know, like in the situation I was in, I knew I had to leave because I was gonna be in jail for murder. Cause how dare you? It always surprises me how a man can sleep peacefully next to a woman that you didn't just abuse.
Just say I'm sorry
Mm,
after all that.
No,
that's
you
deep.
ain't even say sorry. Just laying next to her, and then you wonder why you ended like close your eyes and go to sleep.
Go take a shower, put
Mhm.
throw some electronic appliance in the
Man,
water.
you ain't even got to do that. We ain't gonna tell. Look, you're gonna get me canceled. Somebody gonna do it. So I ain't gonna say it, but I will say I'm saying bad things on here, so we can't say that. But I will say that
What you say?
I'm just saying I can't say it. I won't say it on camera, but I'm just saying like it always
Tell
was
them to sleep with one
amazing.
eye open, one
It's
closed, huh?
I'm just saying like you know I know some women who just said I remember, and I mean, domestic violence was very prevalent. And I remember my grandmother telling me stories. And I remember she told me this story about this guy, her one of her husbands. My grandmother was married like 5 times, but that's neither here. But one of her husbands had did something, he had whooped on her, and she was like, "I wouldn't." And then he calmed down, was tired, and she was like, "I wouldn't advise you go to sleep tonight. I would not. I do not.
Ooh.
Like, I promise you, if you close your eyes tonight, they won't open back up." He
Ooh.
gathered all this stuff and he finally left my grandmama's house.
Exit
Cause one
stage
thing,
left.
one thing for sure, my grandmother, she was a fighter. She wasn't gonna let you just whoop on her. She was gonna fight back. So they was in there mug tussling. And he got tired. And I guess he thought he had got the best of her because she was a little woman. She was like, short stature. She's shorter than me. You know what I'm saying? And but she
Mm-hmm.
but she told him, and she kept she what I will say is, back then it was men will be whooping on women that they couldn't control. And my grandmother, she couldn't, she was a little hard headed. She couldn't be controlled. And she would tell me how she would whoop a shooter. Didn't I tell you though? How
She's a ninja, huh?
she shot at a dude and shot him out his shoes. He ran up out his shoes on his way out the door. Cause she told him, "I told you don't come back to my house no more."
I
Yeah,
know, right?
that that's a real
Mm-hmm.
story. But I mean, like, enough is enough. It's like that movie, enough is enough. When a woman is fed up, is she tired
Watch
and she
out.
can't she can't
Watch
do no
out.
more, you be careful. And I mean, and so I even though Cassie didn't, you know, pull a gun, shoot him, what hurts a billionaire? A person who uses money and power, what hurts him? She hit him where it hurt though. She
Took
got
him
to
right
admit
out there,
she
hit
got
them
to
in them
admit that.
pockets.
She gotta admit
Mm-hmm.
that, but sometimes you do. You gotta hit them where it hurt. And she
Mm-hmm.
did. She got 'em flat out. So
Well, I'm listening to your family stuff. Your family got
I'ma
ruthless.
just say,
Your family
I'm just
I
saying
advise you not to
the
sleep with.
women, I'ma just say this. The women in
Woo!
my family ain't no suckers. I
I
tell you
see.
that much. We
Go
might,
to
we
sleep.
might deal with a little bit out of love and care, and we just want you to do right. But after we realize you ain't gonna do nothing but wrong,
Take matters into your own hands, huh?
baby.
Baby.
Baby. That's why I know I had to. That's why I know that's why I know. Cause I ain't never I'm not about to take no whooping
Oh,
from nobody.
I
Just
know
ain't
it's
gonna happen. You can talk all you want. You might hurt my feelings. You can say some crazy stuff to me, and you might get a reaction. I might be hurt. I might cry and be sad about it. But I ain't taking no whoopings.
no ass.
I ain't gonna be able to
You ain't
do.
taking no one for the team, huh?
Nah, I ain't taking no ass whoopings.
Okay.
Mhm.
That I ain't. You
Told
know.
Harpo to beat me. Like, yeah, everybody ain't
Ooh,
gonna get
not
exposed.
Harpo.
You know what I'm saying?
That
She had that
was my
action.
favorite part of that movie. She was like, "Hell no, Harpo learned today, didn't
I
he?"
know. But you know, I think back,
We making fun, but it ain't funny.
but
Right.
but
Yeah.
that's the reality of it is that I remember locally in Cleveland where
Again, going back to even if you see that a lot with the teenagers, a lot of these teen relationships with the DV, with the girlfriend and the boyfriend, and it's getting. I mean, this stuff out here is crazy. Do you
Yeah,
understand what I'm
it's the
saying?
power of possession, and people are not able to control their emotions.
mm,
People do not have control over their emotions. Like
Or
that's
the
some
fact they
soft
can't control somebody else to make them act
do
out
what you
the
want
way
them
they
to
facts,
want
do.
them to.
facts, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they want you to clock out and act crazy and all of that. But at the end of that, that's whack. That's no fun,
Hmm.
man. That's whack. All that pressure, the stress of all of that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Go ahead on. Find your tribe. Find your tribe.
Reach out, call the domestic violence hotlines. They got them for teenagers. They got them for males. They got them for females. Call 211-411. Reach
Yes,
out for help. It's a
right away.
school counselor. It may be a coworker. It may be a close friend. Somebody that you could confide in to let them know if you don't hear from me. You hear what I'm saying? If you don't hear from me, hold my purse. You know what I'm saying? If you don't hear from me and something go down, call this. Leave, let somebody
Yes.
somewhere know.
And
They
there's
got
and I'm gonna
signals you can
post
use too with your
yes.
hands,
Yeah, and
you know.
yeah, it is a signal. We gotta I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna post all that stuff on my page. Like I'm
That's what's
definitely
up.
gonna post it. I'm gonna post domestic, the domestic violence center information, phone numbers, because it is a real life serious thing. And if you're
Hmm.
listening out there and you're a victim of domestic violence, you can hit me up in my inbox and I will make sure that you get all the information and get in contact with people that will be able to help you. Because
That's what's up.
we can't keep it ain't safe for women out here, and we gotta do better. We gotta do better as sisters, protecting one another. Not shaming
Hmm.
one another, not making each other feel like you stupid, girl, you dumb. You don't know what this woman have been through, and then and we as women, they I think about this too. Diddy has been able to do this to multiple women. This is not his
Hmm.
first go round. He probably got somebody really, really young. She was 19. She, probably needed him, was dependent. He pretty much got her before she was tainted, you know. So
Hmm.
you got to, or just had enough experience to know better, but you got her at this really young age and you were able to groom her for so long. But I know that this is not his first time doing it. And most abusers, it's not. And a lot of times they able to get away with it because us as women, we sit back and we make it easy for the next woman to go through the
Come
same
on.
emotional abuse because he come tell you a story. Yeah, she was crazy. She was nuts. It wasn't
deranged.
me. Something was wrong with her. That girl, she was crazy. She was all about her. She was this, she was that. And then she like, yeah, she was crazy. That was why he left her, girl. He wasn't with no, she left running.
Hmm.
Fired
And
again.
they
She
like to
left
say that one,
running.
why didn't you leave? Well, why didn't she leave? If it was me, I would have left. Well, now y'all see she tried to leave and you saw what happened. And who knows when she would have got that break again to even escape that man. There was a lot of that. She should have left.
She did that
Shoulda,
in
woulda, coulda.
2016. She
Come
left
on
him
now.
like 4 years or so later. She didn't even
Mm-hmm.
get. She kept. She was so. After that, she stayed with that man another 4 years. And don't forget, like it ain't like when abusers abuse, oh, they hurt you, but then they come right back with the pulling you back in. I love you, baby. I'm so sorry. Let me make it better. Let me help. I'm sorry. Here go this beautiful gift. Here go this. I got you this. I'm taking you here. We going on we doing this. We doing, they come back with the
Streaming them back in.
reeling you back in to get you, pulling you back into the emotional trauma and
Roller
the
coaster.
abuse, and it's in a cycle. And it takes real life therapy.
I'm telling you, it took
Real
my
life
mom.
therapy.
It took my mom years, and it wasn't like she didn't try. Because when I look back on my childhood, I can tell you on so many occasions we were at hotels. We were at hotels, and I'm not saying in the long run um, that somebody didn't get healed and God came in and fixed it. You know what I'm saying? And it stopped happening. And that's on a spiritual level. But when we were younger, girl, half our childhood was spent in hotels. And then what would happen? The money would run out. And then we always have to end up going right back
And that's
home.
what happened to a lot of women. They don't have the
Mhm.
money, they don't have the funds, so
Or the
they got
resources.
or the resources, so they
Resources,
go back.
yeah.
They go over a cousin or sister. Oh, girl, you can't stay here with your kids. Y'all, they too loud. It's too much people in my house, and they end up going back. Because
Yeah,
they don't have nowhere to go, and so they have to
they
make
really
a
do.
plan of escape. You know,
Hmm.
they have to make
I
a
think what it did for me, I always wanted to live and make sure that I put things in my name. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want it to get to a point that I had to be removed from where I was laying my head at night.
hmm
And a lot of it made me buck against authority. It didn't matter whose authority it was, because I didn't want to end up in that position. And it made me really, what's the word? Like aggressive, passive. Like real aggressive. I'm coming in the door with the what, because I didn't want to be in that predicament that I saw when I was raised in. And we as the women, we learned that, is this supposed to be our role? Is this what we supposed to do? We supposed to just be quiet, get knocked upside the head? I mean, coming home, get a hairdo, head in the sink, washing all that out, and come on, we know about glue to our scalp, ripped out your head, huh?
Yeah,
Didn't make sense. You little, get off my mama, get off my mama.
Mm,
That's
yeah.
what you see. That shit is traumatizing.
I
It's
know, right?
traumatizing.
Oh.
It is. So I just wanted to say the National Domestic Violence Hotline. Share it. Parties in the chat.
It's 1-800-799-7233. Again, National Domestic Violence Hotline number is 1-800-799-7233.
Yes,
That's what's
that'll
up.
be up. That'll be up on my page as well, so people can, you can reach out to somebody, get some help. Um, you can put it in there if you want to
Yeah.
put it in the chat. So yeah, like you just man, ain't no, as a woman, we just got to do better. Ain't nobody on that. Ain't nobody taking it. We gotta just do better for one another. You know what I'm saying? But
And
nobody
this
gonna
helps.
try.
This podcast, this getting the word out there, and I would hope that it would happen even more. They take it to the schools, they take it to the churches, they take it to the jobs, they take it to these fairs, because so many people are sitting by you, working by you,
Mhm.
riding in the cars by you, living by you. You don't know what go on in closed doors.
Nope, not at
You
all.
don't know what goes on in closed.
Not
I
at
was a
all.
social worker, and I don't give out nobody's information. I saw some crazy stuff, and I ain't talking about inner city. I'm talking about way out in suburban land.
Mhm.
Mm.
Mhm.
Way out in suburban land.
Oh, I
It's
believe
more
it.
of that happening out there. It's just not on the news. Do you
I
know what I'm
believe it.
saying? And you going in these homes, you removing children. It's not based on color. It's not based
It's
on wealth.
not.
It's happening everywhere,
It is
Every day, I'm sure.
every day.
every day. You see these kids in these cages. You see these women who say that I was stuck in this for years. You see it with same-sex couples. It's hitting everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to open our eyes because they put these things in front of us. And a lot of times, especially getting back to Hollywood, we don't believe what they put in front of us, but they showing us all the time on all these social media apps. They showing us with these documentaries. They showing you through true crimes. Open your eyes and pay attention. People don't know how to cry out for help because they don't know how to get that help. So you got to look for the sign. Children that got saved from human trafficking because somebody took the time
to pay attention.
Come on, girl. Woo! Let's go. That's a word.
Somebody took the time to pay attention.
Each one teach one, reach one.
Each one gotta reach one. Wow, it's deep. It's deep. It's really a sad situation. And like I said, if somebody out here, I typically try to stay away from sharing my personal experiences, but this right here is one that I just felt like needed to be shared. We as
Thank you
women,
for that.
we as women, we be going through stuff and we be judging one another, thinking like, oh, she's stupid. That dude be dogging her. She's stupid. She's stupid. No, she ain't stupid. She ain't stupid. Trust. He's doing something to keep her there. That's number one. Two, it's a lot of times it's about control and power. Three, she just ain't made her move yet. She trying to figure it out so that she can make that move. It's sad, and we just need to stop judging people and listen to what they went through, because you never know what situation you may find yourself in. And I promise you, I remember I knew this lady. I was like, she dumb. I don't know why she would be with that dude. He did this to her. He did that to her. She dumb. I don't know why she deal with him. And then turned around and found myself in a similar situation. Like, what the heck? Was this because I judged her? Was this because I looked at her like something was wrong with her and she was weak? But she wasn't weak. You know what I'm saying? She was hurt. She was victimized. She was going, and anybody can be a victim.
Yes.
Anybody can find themselves in a situation where they're a victim. If you out there and you listening, you not weak, sis. You hurt, but get help. Reach out. Tell somebody. Share your story. You're not alone. You're not dumb. You're not weak. Don't believe it. Anytime you can sit up and endure all of that you going through, and you still there, and you still living, you still getting up, going to work, smiling, putting a smiling on, playing the game, living behind the mask, you ain't weak. You real strong. But use that and make the next step. Make your plan. Then leave and do better for you. No woman deserves to be abused, mistreated, not loved, not cared for. And it ain't your job to heal them and make them better. It's not. He got to want that for himself.
And I believe Mr. H said something earlier. When you do have folks that you want to help and you want to pull them out, and maybe a family member, a brother, an uncle, a male counterpart is trying to save that person, and what do you do then when you done gave them this and gave them the resources? And do you end up losing your life? Do you end up losing your freedom? And then you help them out and then they go back. I believe too, at some point, and that's religiously speaking, give it up to God. You have to pray. You can't make a person want to do what they don't want to do. And if they can save themselves and they've been given the opportunity, they have to want to save themselves. You can't save them from themselves. If it's that particular situation, they have to want to save themselves. And at that point, there's not much you can do when you've already tried to do it and they don't want to leave, or they feel like they're afraid, or they can't. Your hands are tied. Reach out to 911, dispatch, Cleveland 216-621-1234. Try to reach out for help. If there's children involved, reach out to Cleveland, not Cleveland, Cuyahoga County Children Family Services, 696 kids. You see children that's involved or caught up in those situations, don't turn a blind eye.
And another thing that I would say that is very important too, they may go back, And if they go back, if you're a family member and you know that you got a family member that you love that's a victim of domestic violence and you go help and she go back, just always keep your door open. Always say, like, even if you go back, I don't care what happened. Whenever you
Mhm.
ready, I'm here.
I'll be here.
Whenever you ready,
Facts.
I'm here. Because a lot of times families get burnt out. Don't call me no more. I don't care what he do to you. You stupid. If you staying with him, I'm done dealing with you. Don't call me when he kill you. I don't want to hear it.
That's a that,
I mean, like, people
that's a
say
broken
stuff like
woman. That's
that.
a broken
Yeah,
woman.
but people say
Mhm.
that she's
She's
broken.
broken.
So, and you saying something like that will cause her to stay when she just had the courage to leave this time because she couldn't take it.
See
You
light
know
at
what
the
I'm
end of the
saying?
tunnel.
And now, but she don't. She stay because she feel like none of my family gonna accept me back. I chose him over
My
my
That's
family.
true.
family.
Yeah.
That's definitely
I
another
walked
angle.
away. They never gonna,
Mhm.
you know, man.
It be that time where they will actually leave and they ready to go. Seen
Yep.
a documentary about that too.
It will be a time that they will be ready to go. You gotta hit rock bottom. You gotta be tired. You don't want no more. You can't do it no more. You
It,
don't even want nothing. You like, you can have all of this. I'm walking away from the house, the clothes. I don't care about none of it. I just want my peace. And I'm
Smile.
telling you, that peace
Everything.
is
Just
worth fighting for.
Priceless.
It's
Hmm.
say
priceless
that.
and it's worth fighting for. It's worth, and you not wrong for choosing you. It don't matter. He been, I've been hurt. My family, my mama left me. My family, I went through this. I went through that. So what? Choose you every time. You deserve your peace. Don't sometimes you got to choose yourself. You got to save you because that person, an abuser will drain every life force out of you. They'll take your essence till you don't recognize you no more. And you gotta go. You gotta do what's best for you. Just always as a family
Facts.
member, you just got to keep that door open, always be there and willing to, no matter what, take them back open arms, no matter what. I'm grateful for my friend who was there for me when had enough and I was ready to go.
Thank God.
I'm
And
grateful
kudos to the
for it.
ones that got out and sharing their stories. You too, Michelle, and
Yes.
others who've been in these situations, and now you could be a spokesperson. Your story helps other people
Yes.
when they're going through this. The children who had enough strength to tell a school liaison or reach out. We can't save the world, but we can do what we can, and we can make the difference, like they just say at the county, in the life of a child, or in the life of a person trying to escape, or in the life of a person who want a better life. Pay it forward. I say each one, reach one, teach one. And it's like you
You're
said, we are not alone. And
not
if you see
alone.
something going down, like you said too, it's men that have start stepping in, women have start stepping in. You see some abuse going on the bus or at a club or some just sometimes just a disruption or distraction, and call 911 for them 911 for them people, because
It
you
could be
know what's
something
gonna happen when they
simple.
get to the house.
It could be something simple like, like it don't always have to be towards the attacker. You got to use strategy when you're dealing with crazy. I'm telling you, you got to use strategy. Like, oh, you might have a bag full of groceries and you can tell this dude hollering at this girl, you drop all your bags. Oh, can somebody help me? Sis, slide a number. Like it be
Facts.
the little things like, look, I got you. It could be a distraction that is caused. You looking over
Mm-hmm.
here while you help sliding her the phone number to call over there. You know what I'm saying? It be because people be crazy. People be crazy. She going to work every day, you know. Sis, call me when you get to work. Oh, I know this. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I want to tell y'all about this way to get this money. All you got to do is call this number and they giving $500 away for free. You know what
Facts.
I'm saying? With the bug 500 for free, girl. Yeah, you got to go through this building. That building right over there. That's my office. Call me. You got to you got to strategize to to help people. And it's sad, but it's true. And we got to think about things like that. But it's true.
Facts.
Yeah. It's been a good show.
Yeah,
Thank you, Debbie.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you for
guys.
coming
It's a
on.
pleasure.
Thank you so much for coming on, for listening, for tuning in, and to calling and sharing your story and sharing what you experienced. I thank you.
I thank you guys for the platform. You guys have a blessed one. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Lovely Debbie in the building. We love when she comes to the show. Just wow. This was deep.
Yeah.
I don't think this had anything pertaining to what we were
I know,
talking
right?
about. I think it might have been an accident. You know, you sometimes you be watching stuff and you might type on the wrong thing, comment. But yes, very good show, very informative. Again, the National Domestic Violence Hotline. I'm gonna also is 1-800-799-7233. I'm also gonna post it on my page as well. So if you know someone that needs that number, share the information. And if you know someone that needs help, reach out. And I will do, you can inbox me privately. You can hit me up on juicytalk@gmail.com.
Make sure,
JUCTALK
make sure you want to
Gmail.
subscribe.
Yep.
Sure. So
Like and subscribe if you like today's show. If you want to listen to more content like this.
notification. Turn
Yes.
notification.
Yes. So we're getting ready to go on vacation. I am. So we're gonna go on vacation. We are. The show will stop. This is not. We got one more show, I believe. Is it one more?
I believe so.
We got one more show next week, and then after that, we're gonna go on vacation for June, July, and then in August, and then we start back end of August.
Okay.
So, yep, but we still will be promoting. We'll have other shows. We'll still have something during this time frame. We'll air old shows. We'll air different clips. Stay tuned so you can know the different events that we'll be having. We're gonna have a conference. We're gonna plan a conference for next year sometime. But yeah, so we got different things coming up, different events coming up that we want you guys to be a part of. So definitely stay tuned for more information and stay subscribed so you'll get notifications. And thank you so much. This was a great show. You got any final words?
No, you did. You said a lot. I didn't. It's a lot. Woo.
It was a lot. It was a lot packed in.
I know, right?
Hardy didn't know I had a crazy streak.
I know, right? But people bring it out and stuff.
People bring it out. I'm like about sweet as pie.
I tell you
For
that.
real, for real. I am. And I but you know what they say. I ain't know, but don't push me.
I know, right?
But thank you for tuning in. It was great.
Right.
Love y'all.
Peace.
Peace.